That moment it was quiet, too quiet. The world outside was loud, restless, uncaring, yet inside, time seemed to hold its breath. Eyes were fixed on me, but not a word was spoken, and in that silence I realized something powerful. Life does not always shout, sometimes it whispers, and in whispers, truth is revealed. I saw the weight of unspoken dreams. I felt the echo of roads never taken, and suddenly, I knew, this was not about tomorrow, not even about yesterday. This was about now. What do we do with the moments we are given? Do we waste them in fear, or do we pour every drop of ourselves into them? Because when someone looks at you with eyes that hold both pain and love, you learn that the measure of life is not in years lived, but in how deeply we choose to live each heartbeat. So I ask you, what are you waiting for? To be loved, to be seen, to be free. The stage is already yours. The silence is waiting to be broken. Do not waste your chance. Do not waste your fire. Silence speaks louder than words. There are moments in life when speech becomes unnecessary, when the clamor of explanations and justifications falls away, and what remains is a silence that thunders in the heart. In that silence there is a language not taught in books or whispered in conversations. It is the language of the soul. It is in silence that truth makes itself known, raw and undeniable, without the dressing of words. We often run from it, fearing the weight of what might be revealed, because silence strips us of distractions and excuses. When all is still, we cannot pretend any longer. We are forced to listen. To the ache in our chest, to the longing in our spirit, to the quiet questions we have buried for years. Silence, in its simplicity, demands honesty. And when another's presence fills that silence, when their eyes linger without uttering a single syllable, something extraordinary happens. Their silence joins with yours, and suddenly you feel seen without explanation. Words would have been clumsy, insufficient, incapable of capturing what passes between souls in that instant. A glance, a pause, the faint rhythm of breath, these become entire conversations. It is then you realize that words are only symbols, while silence is truth itself. Silence does not flatter or deceive. It does not bend itself to please an audience. It simply is, carrying the weight of all that cannot be spoken. Silence has a power that terrifies those who do not know how to face themselves. That is why the world is filled with noise. Constant chatter, endless distractions, a flood of meaningless words to cover the uncomfortable quiet. Yet the deepest revelations are not found in noise. They are born in stillness. It is in silence that lovers recognize each other without speaking. It is in silence that we feel the gravity of another's pain, even when they are too proud or too wary to name it. It is in silence that we learn the truth about who we are when no one else is watching. There is a sacredness in being looked at without being asked to explain. It is in those unspoken exchanges that the heart trembles with recognition. Silence becomes a mirror. It reflects back the emotions we have hidden, the truths we have avoided, the desires we have denied. It is both gentle and ruthless, a healer and a revealer. It reminds us that life is not sustained by constant doing and endless words, but by presence, raw, vulnerable presence. The kind of presence where two souls can sit together in quiet and know more about each other than hours of conversation could ever reveal. In silence, masks fall, the eyes cannot lie. The breath cannot be disguised, the stillness does not permit performance. And that is why silence speaks louder than words. It tells us the truth whether we are ready to hear it or not. It pierces through the illusions we build with language and confronts us with the reality of what is. In silence, we are naked. In silence, we are seen. In silence, we are finally honest. Eyes carry unspoken dreams. There is something in a gaze that cannot be hidden, something that betrays the deepest chambers of the heart. Words can be carefully chosen, rehearsed, even manipulated to disguise what lies within, but eyes are incapable of such deception. They hold the weight of longing, the shimmer of hope, the ache of regret, and the brilliance of desire. In a single glance, entire lifetimes are revealed. You can look into someone's eyes and see the roads they wish they had taken, the battles they have fought in silence, the prayers they whispered when no one was listening. The eyes are storytellers of the soul, narrating what the lips could never dare to speak. When you look deeply enough, you begin to recognize the dreams left unfinished, the ambitions that still burn, waiting for their moment to ignite. There is a flicker that cannot be extinguished by circumstance, a restless spark that hides beneath even the heaviest weariness. Sometimes it is faint, almost invisible, but it remains. You see it in the way the gaze lingers on something simple yet meaningful. A child's laughter, a fleeting horizon, a symbol of freedom. That gaze tells you more than any speech could that within, there is still a vision of life not yet lived, a passion not yet fulfilled. It is easy to dismiss dreams as foolish, to bury them under the weight of responsibility, to silence them with the noise of survival. Yet the eyes remember. The eyes do not forget the fire once kindled in youth, the wild hunger to create, to love, to conquer, to become. Even when the mouth denies it, even when words claim contentment, the eyes betray the truth. They reveal the contrast between what is and what could have been. They are windows, and through them we glimpse both the beauty and the tragedy of unrealized potential. To look into someone's eyes in stillness is to step into their inner world. It is to see the pictures painted on the walls of their soul. The dreams are there, some radiant, some fading, some scarred but unbroken. It is not always a cry for rescue, nor a demand for pity. Sometimes it is simply a confession. This is who I am inside. This is what I once dreamed of. This is what I still yearn for, even if I never speak it aloud. In that moment, silence becomes sacred. The eyes do all the speaking necessary. Dreams unspoken are not dreams forgotten. They live in glances that wander beyond the present, in eyes that sparkle at possibilities never grasped. They are reminders that the human spirit is designed to reach beyond the ordinary, that even in weakness or weariness, the heart remembers what it was meant to pursue. When words fall short, when pride forbids confession, when life itself has tried to silence every hope, the eyes still whisper the truth. And in that whisper lies the raw power of unspoken dreams. Life exists in the present. The mind is a restless traveler, always rushing ahead into tomorrow or wandering back into yesterday. It lingers on regrets, replaying moments that cannot be undone, or it leaps into the future, constructing scenarios that may never arrive. And in that endless movement, we lose the one place where life truly happens. Here now, in this breath, in this heartbeat. The present is the only reality we ever touch. The past is memory, the future is imagination, but the present is alive, pulsing, tangible, and fleeting. It is the canvas upon which every choice, every word, every glance is painted. So many of us postpone living. We wait for the perfect time, the perfect condition, the perfect sign. We convince ourselves that when circumstances align, then we will begin to truly live. But life does not wait for us to be ready. Life is already unfolding in this instant, whether we claim it or not. Every second that passes is a seed planted in the soil of eternity. Every choice in this moment becomes a thread in the fabric of our story. To delay, to linger in dreams of tomorrow or shadows of yesterday, is to miss the only chance we ever truly have to live. The present is where love exists. You cannot embrace someone yesterday, nor can you hold them tomorrow. You can only hold them now. The warmth of touch, the depth of presence, the beauty of connection, these are anchored in this moment alone. The present is where courage is born. Fear thrives in the future, regret festers in the past, but courage awakens when you choose to act now, to step forward in the face of uncertainty, to breathe and say, "This is the moment I will not waste." To live in the present is not to ignore the past or abandon the future. It is to understand their place. The past is a teacher, not a home. The future is a vision, not a guarantee. The present is the stage where both converge, where the wisdom of yesterday and the hope of tomorrow can shape the decisions we make now. And it is in those decisions, in those moments of awareness, that destiny is forged. When you become fully present, even the simplest details are transformed. The taste of food, the sound of laughter, the glow of sunlight, the rhythm of your own breathing. Suddenly these are no longer background noise, but miracles. Life ceases to be something you are rushing through, and instead becomes something you are immersed in. This is the gift of the present. It makes everything alive, vibrant, urgent, and sacred. The truth is, tomorrow is a promise that may never be kept. Yesterday is a story already written. But this moment, this fleeting, fragile, powerful moment, is entirely yours. To notice it, to feel it, to claim it, that is where life happens. That is where life is. Pain and love can coexist. At first, the two seem like enemies, as though one cancels out the other, as though love should erase pain or pain should destroy love. But the reality is far more complex, far more human. Often, it is within the presence of pain that love reveals its truest form. When the heart aches, when the body falters, when the weight of suffering presses down, love does not disappear. It deepens. It becomes something beyond sentiment, beyond the soft glow of easy days. It becomes sacrifice, endurance, and devotion. Love that has never touched pain is untested. It may feel beautiful, but it has not yet proven its strength. It is in the fire of hardship that love shows whether it is fragile or unbreakable. To remain present in another's suffering, to carry their burden even when you cannot take it away, to stay when everything inside you whispers to run. That is love standing hand in hand with pain. It does not demand perfection. It does not flee at the sight of wounds. It kneels beside them, unafraid, whispering, "I am here." Even when presence is the only gift it can give, pain itself sharpens the awareness of love. It strips away the illusions and distractions that often cloud daily life. Suddenly, you see what matters. A gentle touch becomes priceless. A glance carries weight. A word spoken softly becomes a lifeline. In the shadow of pain, love does not shrink, it becomes luminous, glowing all the brighter because of the surrounding darkness. What once was ordinary is revealed to be extraordinary, because love dares to exist even when comfort is gone. There is a tenderness born only in the place where pain and love intersect. It is not the loud, dramatic expression of romance but the quiet, steady presence that says, even here, especially here, I will not leave. And this is perhaps the greatest mystery of all. Pain has the power to deepen connection rather than destroy it. It opens the door to empathy, to understanding, to a union of souls that does not depend on perfection but thrives in vulnerability. When you witness another's suffering and still choose to love, you encounter love in its purest, most unselfish form. And so, pain and love walk together. They teach us that beauty does not exist only in joy, but also in struggle. They remind us that to love is to risk heartbreak, that to care is to invite vulnerability, that to open yourself is to also open yourself to loss. Yet it is precisely this risk, this willingness to endure pain, that makes love precious. If it were easy, it would not be profound. If it were without cost, it would not carry the same meaning. Pain and love do not destroy one another, they define one another. They prove that the heart, though fragile, is also immeasurably strong. Moments define meaning. Life is not measured in years, months, or days, but in the fragments of time that leave imprints on the soul. A single moment can shift the course of everything. A glance across a room, a word spoken at the right time, a hand reaching out when despair has tightened its grip. These seemingly small moments become the anchors of memory, the turning points of destiny. We often believe that meaning is found in grand achievements, in milestones that can be written down and celebrated. But the truth is that the essence of a life is hidden in the quiet, fleeting seconds we rarely notice. Moments carry weight because they hold presence. When you are fully immersed in an instant, when you give yourself entirely to it, it becomes eternal. The laughter of a child echoing in your ears, the stillness of a sunrise painting the sky, the silent connection of two souls who need no words. Such experiences carve themselves into the fabric of your being. Years may blur together, but these moments remain crystal clear, glowing with significance long after time has passed. Meaning is not waiting for us in some distant future. It is built in the moments we live with awareness and intention. You can spend a lifetime chasing what you believe will matter, only to realize at the end that it was never the promotions, the possessions, or the applause that defined you. It was the moments when you showed kindness instead of judgment, when you forgave instead of held on, when you chose courage over fear. It was the times you paused long enough to notice beauty, to taste gratitude, to hold someone close and remind them they are not alone. The danger is that we overlook these moments while waiting for something greater. We let them slip through our fingers while our eyes are fixed on the horizon of someday. Yet someday is not promised. The meaning we crave is already here, wrapped in the seconds unfolding in front of us. A moment can be wasted in distraction, or it can be transformed into something sacred by attention. It is not the length of time that gives it power, but the depth of presence we bring to it. Even in pain, moments shape who we are. A single instant of loss can break us, yet within that breaking, another moment of compassion or resilience can rebuild us stronger than before. The balance of life is written in these contrasts. Joy and sorrow, triumph and defeat, love and grief. Each moment, no matter how small, stitches itself into the story of who we become. To understand this is to live differently. It is to recognize that this breath, this heartbeat, this instant holds the potential for meaning. We cannot control how many moments we will be given, but we can choose how deeply we live within them. And in the end, those choices will define us more than time itself ever could. Fear wastes time. It disguises itself as caution, as logic, as preparation, but beneath its mask lies delay, hesitation, and the slow erosion of possibility. Fear whispers that tomorrow is safer, that waiting will make you stronger, that conditions must be perfect before you take a step. And so you wait. You stand still while life continues to move forward without you. Days slip into weeks, weeks into years, and all the while, the fire inside grows dimmer, not because the dream has died, but because fear has stolen the time meant to pursue it. Time is the one currency we can never reclaim. Every second surrendered to fear is a second that will never return. Opportunities do not remain open forever. Doors close, seasons change, people move on. And when fear keeps you from acting, you trade the precious now for the illusion of safety. Yet safety is never guaranteed. Even in stillness, even in hiding, life carries risk. Avoiding action does not protect you from loss, it only protects you from growth. Fear thrives in imagination. It paints pictures of failure, rejection, embarrassment, and pain. It magnifies what could go wrong while silencing what could go right. But those imagined catastrophes are not real, they exist only in thought. The present moment rarely contains the disaster fear promises. What it contains instead is opportunity, the chance to try, to learn, to rise. Fear steals that chance by convincing you to surrender it before you even begin. When fear is allowed to rule, regret becomes its shadow. Regret is heavier than failure, for failure at least carries lessons, while regret offers nothing but emptiness. Many look back not at the mistakes they made, but at the chances they never took. They realize too late that fear was never a protector but a thief, robbing them of experiences that could have changed everything. Yet courage does not mean the absence of fear. It means refusing to let fear waste your time. It means stepping forward while the heart still trembles, choosing to act even when doubt claws at your mind. Each act of courage, no matter how small, takes back time from fear. It proves that fear has no true power except the power you give it. Life does not pause while you wrestle with hesitation. The world keeps spinning, the clock keeps ticking, and the moments you hesitate vanish into the past. To live fully is to see fear for what it is, a phantom that feeds on delay. The antidote is action. Even imperfect, uncertain action breaks the chains fear tries to tighten. Each step forward, however small, is a victory over wasted time. Fear will always knock, but you do not have to open the door. Every time you choose presence over hesitation, every time you act instead of waiting, you reclaim your life from the grip of fear. And in doing so, you honor the time you have been given, refusing to waste it on shadows that were never real. The fire is already within. Too often, we are convinced that we must search for something outside ourselves to awaken, to begin, to rise. We believe that power lies in another person, another opportunity, another set of circumstances. But the truth is, the spark has always been there, burning quietly beneath the surface, waiting for permission to erupt into flame. You were not born empty. You were born with potential, with resilience, with the raw energy of creation already inside you. The problem is not that you lack the fire. It is that you doubt it, you bury it, or you ignore it. The world is skilled at convincing us to look outward. It teaches us to wait for validation, to seek approval, to crave recognition before we act. And while we wait, the fire grows restless, pressing against the walls we build around it. It is why so many feel a constant stirring, a sense that they are meant for more. That stirring is not something you must earn. It is something you already possess. The fire does not come from outside, it comes from within, and it is yours to command. The tragedy is that many live their lives never striking the match, never trusting that what they carry inside is enough. They search endlessly for signs for the perfect moment, for someone else to tell them they are ready. But readiness is not given, it is claimed. The fire responds only when you dare to act. It grows brighter with every step forward, with every risk taken, with every refusal to surrender to fear or doubt. It does not demand perfection, only courage. You have already felt glimpses of it. The moments when you surprised yourself, when you rose in strength you didn't know you had, when you kept moving even though everything inside you screamed to quit. Those were not accidents. Those were sparks escaping from the fire that has always lived in you. If it could burn once, it can burn again. If it could carry you through yesterday's trials, it can carry you through today's battles. The fire is not fragile, it is fierce. It does not vanish when ignored, it waits, quietly, until you are ready to trust it again. And once you do, once you allow it to ignite, it transforms everything. What seemed impossible begins to feel within reach. What once looked like weakness becomes fuel for strength. The fire turns wounds into wisdom, struggles into stepping stones, doubts into determination. This is why no one can truly give you your power and no one can truly take it away. They can encourage or discourage, they can help or hinder, but the fire is yours alone. It has always been there, pulsing beneath every heartbeat, whispering for you to remember who you are. And when you choose to unleash it, the world will see not someone waiting for permission, but someone ablaze with a force that cannot be contained. In the end, life is not about the noise we make, but about the truth revealed in silence. It is about the unspoken dreams reflected in the eyes, about the courage to live fully in this fleeting present, about the love that grows even in pain, about the meaning hidden in moments that seem small but hold eternity within them. It is about refusing to waste time bowing to fear, and about awakening to the fire that has always been burning inside us. Every second we are given is a gift, every glance a reminder, every heartbeat a chance. We are here not to wait, not to wither, not to be spectators of our own existence. We are here to live, and to live is to listen to silence, to honor dreams, to embrace the now, to love through pain, to treasure moments, to defy fear, and to unleash the fire within. So as we stand at this point together, let us not leave with only words in our ears, but with conviction in our souls. Let us walk out with courage, with clarity, with a fierce devotion to life itself. The time is not tomorrow. The time is not someday. The time is now. Thank you for allowing me to share these words with you. Thank you for lending your ears and your hearts, and thank you for reminding me that truth only lives when it is received. I leave you with this blessing: may you rise each day with courage. May you love deeply even when it hurts. May you claim the moments that matter, and may you never forget. The fire you seek has always been within you. Goodbye, my friends, and thank you.